All right, what is going on, Lake fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Lakers over the Sixers, 116 to 106, the final score. I got to go live on Instagram here real quick. Got a lot of buttons to push here, everybody. A lot of buttons to push. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Got a couple jabs in. I don't have like that much space here. You know what I mean? I'm not in my regular studio, so anything kind of changes when I'm not here. Thank you for being a part of the show. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Obviously, the post-game show, talking Lakers basketball here on Hoops Talk. So thank you for hanging out. We got actually, I think, a lot of kind of interesting storylines for the Lakers. I think the easy ones to point out right out the gate before we even get into the actual game. The easy ones to point out are, okay, yes, Lakers got a W, but D'Angelo Russell comes off the bench tonight. I don't know who the hell. I got to credit somebody. I don't know who the hell to credit. A few days ago, this was earlier in the week, somebody said, and I can't remember, was it on the post-game show? Was it when I was doing the morning show? I think it was the post-game show. Somebody had suggested D'Angelo Russell is better for the Lakers if he comes off the bench. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's actually a really, really good idea. So we're going to spend some time talking about D'Lo coming off the Lakers bench. To be honest with you, you can't really measure this game against a Sixers team that doesn't have Joel Embiid and doesn't have Tyrese Maxey. But I think for the Lakers, because they've been playing so poorly, just get a W, which is exactly what they did. They won by double digits, basically had a comfortable lead the entire game. I know it was close, so sort of close. By the time the Lakers got to halftime, they had a little bit of a breather. I think they got it up to 8 and took over from there. But you needed to just get the W. So for me, right out the gate, before we start getting into any of the details, D'Lo's going to be a topic tonight about him coming off the bench. I think the decision by J.J. Redick to say, I'm going to bring D'Angelo Russell off the bench, also, I think sends a little bit of a message here. A lot of these players that are on this team right now, I think I think J.J. Redick has the autonomy to kind of do whatever the hell he wants. I don't really think anybody's going to hold him back from doing what he thinks is in the best interest of the team. Really hot night for Austin Reaves behind the three-point line. We'll talk about that. LeBron James, obviously, with a triple-double. AD and Rui come back, so we can see instantly the type of impact Anthony Davis has when he comes on the floor. Of course, one of the best players so far in the NBA this year. So we're going to get into all that. So thank you for hanging out. If you were hanging out this morning, I appreciate you doing a little morning time and a little nighttime as we get it going on this Friday night. Please subscribe to the channel. I got to remind everybody of that. I think I was like 15, 20 people away from closing in on 26,000. So if you can help close in on that tonight, that'd be fantastic. And please like the video if you like the video. All right, let's get started. So 116 to 106. I'll get into some of your comments. I'll throw this out here right out the gate because, I do think that this will be the storyline or most of the storyline, at least for me. What you thought of the Lakers play tonight and what you thought of D'Angelo Russell specifically coming off the bench. Let me, before I get into the details of the game, let me just stay right there for a quick second. I think there is something about having a player of D'Lo's skill set coming off the bench. You don't necessarily, when the Lakers play a game, and a lot of games that we've watched in the past, pick any team that you want of the Lakers that have had success. You don't necessarily play your best 5 players. You play the 5 that make most sense to start the game. And it doesn't mean that if you come off the bench, you're not one of the best 5 players. It doesn't mean you're a scrub. It just means that the team has got players that they feel like complement each other to start a game. And then they also need guys to come off the bench who are going to be really, really effective. I mean, let's not sugarcoat that. Of course, you need players. Is my audio bad? Let me see here. Somebody saying something about the audio. I hope not. All right, check 1 2. I know it sounds like everything's all good on the audio. You need players that are 100% complementing each other. You need players that are definitely kind of have a specific role. So I'm just going to say this. I think this, when I look at the Lakers, the way they had the starting lineup with D'Angelo Russell in there, I don't really know if D'Lo can showcase his skill set and really help the Lakers because there's already so many other people. LeBron needs the ball in his hands. He's going to create. Anthony Davis, everything should run through Anthony Davis to begin with. Okay, that's going to happen. Austin Reaves has the capability to be, certainly an effective player. Rui, I don't have as much confidence in to be a effective player on a night in, night out basis, but that doesn't mean that Rui can't start the game and focus his attention on defense, focus his attention on grabbing rebounds, focus his attention on just hustle plays. There's other ways that Rui Hachimura can help the Lakers out. What's been incredibly apparent so far this year to start the season is the Lakers have real issues on the defensive side, specifically in the backcourt with Austin Reaves and D'Angelo Russell playing together. And then the other thing that's really stood out to me, they don't have a bench. Go look at the Lakers bench. There is no bench there that you could look at and you could feel comfortable with and you could be happy about and you could be excited about. A lot of the time so far with the Lakers, I don't know what Gabe Vincent's going to bring, but most likely not that much. Max Christie didn't even get, he played a total of 1 minute tonight. Basically, they've told Max Christie, we don't have time for you to figure it out. We're just going to play guys that we feel like are going to be able to contribute right out the gate. Dalton Knecht, he's struggled so far to start out the season, and tonight is a great example of it. But they feel, and I think a lot of people feel too, Dalton Knecht's going to be an effective player. He hasn't got off to a good start. Let's not, pretend like he has. He was 1 for 8 tonight, 0 for 5 from the three-point line. So he's got a ways to go. Let's just put it that way. I don't think Dalton Knecht, I don't know how much you want to depend on a rookie to start off your season. But the point I'm trying to make is D'Angelo Russell needed in the starting lineup, or can D'Angelo Russell be used somewhere else? By the way, here's another thing about D'Angelo Russell. He has not got off to a good start. He's averaging about 12 points a game. He's shooting around, I know he's shooting under 30% from the three-point line and just over 30% from the field. So it's not like D'Lo has started off the season and you're saying to yourself, you got to get this guy the ball. This guy's been incredible. He's been amazing. Oh my gosh, how are you not starting D'Angelo Russell? Lakers don't owe D'Angelo Russell anything. And that's what I thought was interesting tonight, is because the last game the Lakers played, JJ Redick only played him 21 minutes, and that's when Anthony Davis was not playing. Neither was Rui Hachimura. You're going to tell me in a game where AD and Rui aren't playing, D'Lo's only playing 21 minutes? That says it all. That sends a message to D'Angelo Russell, and I think that sends a message down that entire roster. We're trying to win games, and we're not here. It's nothing personal. It's strictly business. And JJ Redick clearly has the autonomy right now, as this is only his 9th game coaching for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's got the autonomy to say, let me make the decisions and let me figure out how to figure this out, and then I'll worry about the feelings later. Cam Reddish started in his place tonight. I'm not telling you Cam Reddish is the greatest player in the NBA, because he's certainly not, but I'll tell you what Cam Reddish can do. He'll play a role. Cam Reddish is going to play tough. He's got good size. He's going to play some defense for you. He's going to kind of try to figure out a way to be effective one way or the other. Is that crashing the glass? Is it playing defense? Is it deflecting the ball? He doesn't need the ball to be an effective player to start the game. I'm not saying he's the perfect solution, but I've got no problem with the Lakers deciding, D'Lo, come take a seat on the bench with me to start the game. And then when you get your opportunity coming in off the bench, you kind of can just play your own game. It's free-flowing. There's a good chance that when you come in, LeBron's not in the game, so you can control the ball. There's a good chance when you come in, we need your offense, so you could feel free to shoot the ball. There's a good chance when you come in, the Lakers need you to facilitate, so go ahead and go to work. Again, I'm not going to overreact to how the Lakers played the Sixers, because I don't think it was clean basketball. I don't think it was perfect basketball. And the Sixers are now 1-7, and they're missing one of the top 5 players in the NBA in Joel Embiid, and one of the best young point guards in the league in Tyrese Maxey. Of course, if those two guys were playing, the score wouldn't have been 116-106. But the concept of saying, D'Lo, we need you off the bench, whether you like it or not, we don't care. And oh, by the way, you haven't proved enough so far this year to where we're really worried about your opinion. We're really worried about how you feel about it. We need you off the bench. You're going to come off the bench. And that's what the Lakers did tonight. And that's what JJ Redick did tonight. And I like it. Again, I like it. I think, the more that I see JJ Redick decide to do things that I think have a little common sense to it, he doesn't really care whose feelings he's hurting in the process. Now, you can make an argument here and you could say, well, he's doing it because he knows probably D'Angelo Russell's not going to be here potentially by the trade deadline or by next season. Would he do the same thing to a guy like Austin Reaves? Would he screw around and try to piss off a guy like LeBron or Anthony Davis? Probably not. I don't think he would do that. But D'Lo doesn't fall into that category. And Austin Reaves, frankly, I think falls into that category more, where he'd be a little bit more cautious what to do with Austin Reaves. But Austin Reaves being in the starting lineup and taking D'Lo out, I don't think is a bad idea. I really, really don't. Austin Reaves also doesn't have the skill set, if he did come off the bench, to dish 7 to 9 dimes a game, which D'Angelo Russell does have that ability. So there's going to be, I think, the way the Lakers kind of structure this, the way they play, I'm curious to see some of these quotes post-game that just talk a little bit about why the Lakers did this and what's kind of the thought process behind it. I'm sure D'Angelo Russell's going to have his opinion on it as well. Okay, sounds good. Let's see it. I'm curious to see what it looks like when they do give their opinion. And I think it's a good idea, and I got no problem with that at all. So you guys can, feel free here at any moment to kind of let me know what you think, and we can go from there. I will say this, and I'm going to continue to emphasize this in the post-game show. Lakers over the Sixers, and I just realized that entire time that, why don't we go ahead and edit this? Jesus Lord, Sliwa. I do think this. I think the idea, I do think the concept, I do think the thought process, I think that of basically saying you are going to start Cam Reddish is the right thing to do, and I think it sends the right message. All right, let's get into the actual game here, and then I'll get into some of your comments. I know there's a lot of comments. I already see them on kind of giving our opinion on this, on the D'Angelo Russell front and everything else. Lakers over the Sixers. Philly's not good. They're just not good until they get healthy, until they get their guys back. Joel Embiid, I think, was ready to come back, but he's suspended for 3 games, so this is one of them. And then, of course, Paul George just came back, I want to say against the Clippers, maybe the game before that. He didn't really look all that impressive tonight as well. But Tyrese Maxey is the other player that's an absolute stud for the Sixers. So when Lakers play Philly later on in the year and that game's at Philadelphia, it's not going to look exactly like this. Let's go down the list, some of the individual players. Before I do that, just a real quick heads up on the team stats. Lakers also had an incredible shooting night tonight as well. 52% from the field. They went 16 of 35 from the three-point line, so about 46% there. Didn't get to the free throw line as much, 14 times, but hit 85% of their free throws. So really, that's all that you can ask for from the Lakers from an offensive perspective. Something that they struggled with, which has been a problem for the Lakers all year long, rebounding. Offensive rebounds, 13-5 for Philly. So give Philly that credit there. That's an area for the Lakers are going to have to clean up. A lot of teams just out-hustle them. 13 turnovers for the Lakers, 8 turnovers for the Philadelphia 76ers. Points in the paint was almost even. Lakers basically controlled this entire game. Their biggest lead was 19. At one point, they were down by 2. I want to say that was in the second quarter, but they never really turned back. They closed out the first half on a nice run, eventually got the lead by 8, I want to say, at halftime. And then for the Lakers, they kind of put their foot on the pedal from there, outscored Philadelphia by 7 in the third quarter, got outscored by 5, but it was already in the fourth quarter, but the game was already decided. Anthony Davis comes back, 31 points, 4 block shots, 9 rebounds. Lakers just clearly look so much more comfortable when he's in the lineup. I mean, whatever mistakes that this team makes, he makes it look like everything's okay. And on both sides of the floor, it could be him getting a bucket, him drawing a foul, getting to the free throw line, hit a couple of threes tonight. Certainly him on the defensive side. How many different times where a play may break down and it might actually be a bad defensive possession, but Anthony Davis has some type of impact and does something about it. Looking at some of the other players, how about LeBron's stat line in 34 minutes of play? 21 points, 3 block shots, 13 assists, 12 rebounds, 9 of 14 from the field. I don't get this dude, man. I really don't. And I know there's going to be times that we come on here and we're doing the post-game show, or I'm doing my show in the morning, and we're going to be critical of LeBron. We're going to say, man, he looked tired. Oh, my gosh, why is he taking those shots? Why is he settling? How come all the turnovers from LeBron James? He's about to turn 40, man. He's in his 22nd year in the NBA. It's just, he's able to have nights like this and make it look normal. This ain't normal. 22 years in the league. You're not supposed to play 34 minutes, let alone go 9 of 14, have 21, 13, and 12. Austin Reaves finally had a good night. And what I mean by that is he finally had a good shooting night. Austin Reaves, I feel like, has been forcing up a lot of threes. His efficiency, I think, has really, really gone down, at least in most of the games that we've watched. It's still a very small sample size, 9 games in or whatever the case is. But 30 minutes today, hit 6 of 10 from the three-point line. He started maybe 4 of 4 or 5 of 5 from the three-point line, but he certainly had it going. The stats that I like from Austin Reaves, I love the 7 assists and I love the 6 rebounds. Obviously, the 20 points that came with those 6 threes and then a bucket as well. I'm going to go back to the starting lineup thing because I think this is going to allow – there's only one ball. So if you can spread out the players that have the ability to be playmakers and facilitators, if you can spread that out with the lineup and be a little more strategic with it, you might get Austin Reaves to say, okay, well, D'Lo isn't here or LeBron's not here. I could actually be the one that also facilitates and finds guys open. Okay, D'Lo's not here. I could be a little bit more aggressive on offense and maybe even create a little bit more spacing and also not have to play the type of defense that I need to play because I got a little bit of help. I got Cam Reddish that's here next to me. I also got Rui Hachimura who's there. I got Anthony Davis right there. I mean, instantly the Lakers got a lot better defensively in that starting lineup by just taking D'Lo out of the mix. And part of that is because Austin Reaves and D'Lo, they're not too many guys that they can keep in front of them. So Austin Reaves gets the 20 points, the 7 assists and the 6 rebounds. That's the stats I really love for Austin Reaves. Let's kind of keep going down the list. Obviously AD, Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura are the 3 guys that stand out from the starting lineup. But let me keep going, and then I'll hit on some of these guys on the bench. Rui Hachimura, 3 of 8 from the field, 9 points, 4 rebounds. Kind of continues his play. Nothing great, nothing spectacular. He did hit 3 threes. That's effective. He went 3 of 6 from the three-point line, shot 6 threes. I don't know if I need him shooting 6 threes, but if you're hitting 50% of your threes, then go ahead and take as many threes as you want. And then Cam Reddish, the player that came in, obviously, and was in the starting lineup, played 28 minutes, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block shot, 3 points. That's kind of going to be his stat line. You're never going to look at his stats and say, oh, my gosh, look at Cam Reddish. Get a steal or 2 here or there. Grab 4 or 5 rebounds, maybe 6 rebounds. Get a couple of deflections. Make sure you get a couple boards as well and call it a day. That's all you're really asking. He only took 1 shot. So, again, it's not like Cam Reddish is going to come in and do he's not going to come in. He's got a specific role that he has for the Lakers, and that's what it's going to be in that starting lineup. Okay, let's go to the bench here real quick. What's interesting, I don't know. I don't know how much this has an effect on it, but D'Lo scored 18 tonight. He went 7 of 12 from the field, only took 4 threes, which I like, was 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Is that because he came off the bench? I have no idea. I know he still played 25 minutes. I know he still had his opportunities. I know he still had plenty of time to play with Anthony Davis, plenty of time at times to play with LeBron James. I think it kind of added a new element to the game. Now, here's what's going to happen as well. Teams are going to see that, okay, hey, is D'Lo coming off the bench? Is he coming off the bench permanently? Cool. We're going to adjust. And they're going to do things to try to make Cam Reddish hit jumpers. And they're going to do things to try to make Cam Reddish feel uncomfortable when he's starting. And they're going to have more attention on D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench and what's that bench look like when D'Lo comes in with some of the players that he's playing. So other teams are going to make their adjustments, but I don't think that matters. I think that's fine. I think that's completely okay, and I think that's going to be obviously kind of part of what that's going to be part of the adjustments that the Lakers are going to have to make as well. Last thing that I'm going to point out from some of the bench players, Jackson Hayes had 8 points, had 4 block shots. Really good energy from him tonight, and he was effective as well. The 2 players that I mentioned a little bit, I call 3 of these players. Gabe Vincent still, nothing really happening with him, 2 points. Dalton Connect, he's firing away. He's just not hitting shots. Played 16 minutes, just 1 of 8 from the 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 5 from the 3-point line. The way he's going to get his rhythm back, he's got to end up being a player that's getting to the free throw line, trying to find ways to be effective in other ways, hit a couple jumpers within 10, 12 feet, get a couple floaters in the lane, something like that to get his rhythm back. I don't like when he's just relying on just threes, and I feel like that's predominantly what he's doing. Max Christie played 1 minute, like I said. This might be the new Max Christie, everybody. We might have been hyping up somebody that's got a ways to go before he's actually, overly effective for the Lakers. Okay, here's a quote that I got here from Dave McMenamin on D'Angelo Russell from JJ Redick. JJ Redick praised the professional approach that D'Angelo Russell brought to the game tonight and credited the pop that he brought to the second unit's offense. Russell's 18 points is tied for the most a bench player has scored for the Lakers this season. JJ Redick's going to say all the right things. He's going to say that he was incredibly professional. I'm sure D'Lo's going to say whatever the team needs me to do. We'll see over time. We'll see what that looks like. We'll see if this is something that's long-term. We'll see if this is something that D'Angelo Russell buys into and decides, you know what? Hey, if this is the best place for me and the best place for the team, then let's roll with it. I can't give you an answer for it. What I can tell you is I like the idea and I like the concept, but time will only tell of whether this is effective or if it's not. And time will only tell if, obviously if D'Angelo Russell buys into this thing. All right, let's take a quick look at some of your guys' comments here. Appreciate you guys being patient there. I know I was kind of rambling on there for a long time, but I'm back. I'm ready to go. What's going on, Alan? David, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, brother. Great move by JJ. Let's see what else we got here. Much needed win today, no question about it. I mean, what an awful road trip. That was tough. 1-4. And, my issue is that, and I've been kind of talking about this. I've talked about this a number of different times. It's not just losing. How do you lose? What's it look like? And JJ Redick, and listen, I've spent the last couple of days talking about this. I thought his presser after the game against Memphis was very odd. Challenging the team, saying basically, not odd, but it was really early for him to basically be saying, yeah, the effort's not there. Yeah, LeBron's 40 years old, about to be 40, and look at the effort he's giving. I wish everybody else was giving that effort. Yeah, D'Angelo Russell, doesn't have that attention to detail. He called out the team. I don't mind that at all, but I think Ray DeRubin, to go with what you just said right there, when you say much needed win today, I'm big time. Listen, they're 5-4 right now. If you go get a win on, and we'll talk about Toronto in a little bit, if you go get a win on Sunday, be 6-4, I'll take 6-4 through the first 10 games. I don't think that's a problem. But they got to also kind of figure out who they are. What's the identity of their team? They got to clean up their defensive side. They just took, one player in D'Angelo Russell and put him over to the bench. Lakers are still figuring things out. But I do like this. I do like that JJ Redick, I don't think this guy is worried or scared about, ruffling some feathers or letting people know that, hey, this isn't good enough. I think he's, in his own way, kind of trying to set some type of an expectation. Now, you could challenge dudes and they could not respond. That happens in sports all the time. But I'm going to say something that I said at the beginning of the show. JJ Redick has the autonomy to do whatever the hell he wants right now. He's the brand new coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. And frankly, I think the Lakers are sick of hiring new coaches and the media basically saying, why the hell do you guys keep recycling coaches? So JJ clearly has some time to figure this out and do it the way that he wants. And I don't mind him sticking his chest out and saying, yeah, I'm going to do this my way. And if a player doesn't like it, well, tough shit. And if the front office is asking me, hey, I don't know if I would do that. Well, you hired me to be the coach here. Let me do my job. So let's see how much, JJ Redick, as the season progresses, continues to put his fingerprints all over this Lakers team. All right, let's keep looking at a couple more of these here. Good shooting tonight. Not good shooting tonight, Craig. As good of a shooting night as you're going to have. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, 52% from the field and 45% from the three-point line. Can I tell you something what that reminds me of? It reminds me of when I'm out there taking jumpers. The way the Lakers shot tonight from the field reminds me of me. The way they shot over 45% from the three-point line took me back. It took me back in those rec league games. You know what I'm talking about? Pickup games where there's nobody taking stats. I'm taking stats. The stats are right here. Okay? All right. Set to get that in. All right, let's see what we got here. D'Lo is a better bench player. If you got, by the way, if you got some opinions on any of this stuff, the D'Lo stuff, I'm going to start getting into some of these comments here before I get into some other topics here. D'Lo is a better bench player. Can I tell you something? I don't know if he's a better bench player or that's just a fit that the Lakers need. And he's better utilized on this team coming off the bench. Let me give you an example. There are probably a bunch of teams in the NBA that D'Lo can start for. Maybe not, but there's a good amount of teams that D'Lo can start for. But that doesn't mean every single team, it makes sense for him to start. Let me throw some examples out here of back in the day. These are going to be very extreme examples, and I'm not trying to compare D'Angelo Russell to the players that I'm about to mention here. Manu Ginobili came off the bench. Manu Ginobili was a starter. He closed out games. He was one of the top 3 players on that Spurs team. Lamar Odom was a bench player for the Lakers. Does that mean Lamar Odom wasn't good enough to start? No, it means they were more strategic with how they were using Lamar Odom. And D'Angelo Russell is not those players. But with D'Angelo Russell, he's a solid player in the NBA. And the Lakers need him in different ways than just starting. So I think that's the best way that I can describe it. I like D'Lo off the bench. Were we hoodwinked, bamboozled by game? Has anybody seen Pippen Jr. stats lately? ZJ, let me tell you this, brother. I don't know if we were bamboozled. You know, I don't know if we were sold a Fugazi. I've given this example before. You guys remember the movie Donnie Brasco when Al Pacino is sitting there and he's got Johnny Depp that comes up behind him and he's got the diamonds and Al Pacino, or no. Al Pacino's got the diamonds. Johnny Depp is sitting there. Pacino comes to Johnny Depp and he looks at him. He's like, hey, are these diamonds? You know, this and that. And he's like, this is a Fugazi. Like, they're not real. I don't know if Gabe's a Fugazi. I just know that since the Lakers have had Gabe Vincent, hasn't looked good. So maybe, just maybe, those diamonds that Al Pacino got, that he ended up showing to Johnny Depp in Donnie Brasco, maybe Gabe Vincent is those diamonds. Maybe he's a freaking Fugazi. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best example, but Donnie Brasco is one of my favorite movies of all time. If anybody is on this live stream right now and has not seen Donnie Brasco, and get off of YouTube, churn off Sliwa, and go watch Donnie Brasco. Classic movie. Triple-double at that age, crazy. Brother, David, it's not even a triple-double at that age. He's playing 30, 35 minutes a game. Do you know how many minutes Vince Carter averaged? He averaged 14 minutes a game in his 22nd year. By the way, it might have been 7 minutes. I can't remember. It was 14 or 7. Let me get some more here. Let's keep looking here. Just trying to find some comments here. Reddish in the starting lineup is a good move until Vando is back. Creates more balance among the starters. Actually, I got to be honest with you. I don't mind Reddish staying in the starting lineup if Vando comes back. I don't mind Vando coming off the bench. Now, listen, no, if you need another defensive player or something along those lines, I get it. But if you can have a bench for how bad the Lakers bench has looked so far this year, if now all of a sudden your bench is, okay, we got D'Lo coming in, we got Vando coming in, we got Christian Wood coming in, a little bit more size. You know, I do the sign of the cross for Gabe Vincent that he's going to have some more contributions. Maybe Dalton Connect can get into some kind of rhythm. Okay, now we're talking a little bit. Now all of a sudden that bench does not look as bad. Maybe they go Vando. Maybe it is Vando that gets into the starting lineup. But either way, it certainly is going to give the Lakers some real flexibility. It's going to give JJ that flexibility. Um, Let me see what else we got here. Let's keep going here. Kennedy Center, 100%. Well, I mean, I will. I I don't know if you guys see me in that corner three. That corner three. All right. I actually, let me be honest here. Corner three is not my shot. There's too much going on. I got to be the top of the key. What exactly does Gabe Vincent do? Yeah, not a lot of people excited about Gabe Vincent. Okay. Is Donnie Brasco a comedy? Not at all. It's a old school gangster movie. It's a badass movie. It's a great, great movie. I can't say I've seen Donnie Brasco. I'm telling, get off the stream and go watch Donnie Brasco. Based on a true story as well. I listened one time. There was a podcast that got the actual guy that played Donnie Brasco, and he got him in a. There was an interview, like a podcast. It's a fascinating, fascinating story. Really, really good. All right, let's see a couple more here. I am. We are in the hood. Pasadena tonight. Pasadena tonight. Okay, let's keep going here. I got a couple other things that I want to get into here. So, one of the things, and I'm going to just see here if I can get okay, here's another quote here. We got a couple more. Look at Dave McMenamin making it happen. Dave McMenamin again puts out a tweet. JJ Redick, when asked what he told Anthony Davis going into the season, I told him to go win the MVP. You know what's funny? I'm going to get into this quote, and then there's another quote that I want to get into from, we got a quote here from D'Angelo Russell. Let me say this about Anthony Davis real quick. I haven't seen much of the rest of the NBA. It's too early in the season for me to be watching, every Dallas game, and I'm watching the Thunder play, and I'm watching Tatum and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Not enough time in the day to go watch all these games. But as the season kind of progresses, I'll get back into doing that. I love basketball, and I love the NBA. However, basically everybody's saying that, yeah, Anthony Davis has been the best player in the NBA so far this year. What he's doing offensively, there was a time, and I don't know if it's still the case. Here, we'll see it. We'll see it right now. Top scorers in the NBA. I think he was leading the NBA in scoring, and it looks like he still is. So Anthony Davis averaging 32.5 points per game. That's number one in the NBA. I think that was before tonight's game. Tatum is number two. Giannis is on there. Anthony Edwards, Nikola Jokic. That's your top five. Okay. If you go look at, and again, I'm kind of doing this on the fly here. I don't know what the top rebounding is in the NBA. I know he's averaging 11 points. Probably going to be, it looks like just right out the gate, Domantas Sabonis is averaging 13. So he's definitely top five in the league in rebounds. Block shots, I know he's one of the most elite players in the NBA. That's almost a given. He might be leading the NBA for all I know. Wembanyama is leading the NBA in blocks. Wow, what a freaking Wembanyama's averaging 3.7 blocks a game. My God. But AD, at least in this list, it looks like he's top three, top four, something around those lines in block shots. What makes Anthony Davis so unique is he can dominate the game on both sides. So a lot of these players, it's like, all right, well, if Jokic is dominating one side, it doesn't mean he's dominating it on defense. If Anthony Edwards is having a night where he's going for 40, well, he's not also grabbing 10 rebounds and 3 block shots or whatever the case is. That's what makes Anthony Davis so unique. So that quote there from JJ Redick about, I told him to go be the MVP. I don't think there's a Laker fan here that questions whether AD can be a top 5 player in the NBA. The question always for Anthony Davis is, can you be a top 5 player in the NBA every single night? Because that's what makes Giannis Giannis. That's what makes Embiid Embiid. That's what makes Nikola Jokic Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic. Every single night, you know what you're getting from them. When LeBron was in his prime, that's exactly what he was getting. You other young guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, every single night there isn't a night off. And I think what we've noticed with LeBron or with Anthony Davis in his career, there have been times where there is a night off, or there's where was he in the fourth quarter, or there's where was he in the second half, or I really didn't feel the impact in this game. And in order to be an MVP, I mean, nine times out of 10, you're the best player on the floor basically every single game. And that's what I think has held back Anthony Davis from that conversation. Or he's had some health scares, even though last year he played 76 games. But I don't think, you're not watching the NBA or you're not watching Lakers basketball if Anthony Davis in, what have we been playing here? Less than a month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever, 9 games. It's a tiny sample size. But you're not watching the Lakers or the NBA if you don't think Anthony Davis has been a top 2, top 3 player in the NBA so far this year. This is his team. This is his squad. I know LeBron's on the team. I know LeBron got another unbelievable, ridiculous triple-double. The Lakers' only chance to win night in and night out is if Anthony Davis is there and if Anthony Davis is great. LeBron's not going to be able to do this 30, 40, 50 games into the season. And how consistent can he do it? It's on Anthony Davis's back. So there was one of the quotes there from JJ Redick. Here's the other quote from JJ, again from Dave McMenamin. D'Angelo Russell on the bench roll. I just want to win. I left all my baggage at the door when LA made a coaching change in the offseason. I'm egoless. I just want to win. Okay. Like I said, everybody's going to say the right things right now. JJ is going to say he was super professional about it. And D'Angelo is going to say, I just want to win whatever it takes. I'm all in for this team. Everybody's always going to say the right things. And the Lakers won tonight, so it looked like that it was the right thing to do. The quotes that I want the quotes when the Lakers end up losing by 15 or they go on a losing streak. And then you got a mic in front of your face and you say, D'Lo, what do you think of coming off the bench still? Do you think you need to come off the bench? What are those quotes going to look like? What's the body language going to look like? How are you affecting a game when you're winning or when you're losing, when things are going your way or if they're not going your way? So tonight's not necessarily the night to get those quotes. What I mean by that is I don't pay that much attention to those quotes tonight. I'll pay more attention to them a little bit down the road. Just like when JJ Redick started out the season 3-0. Yeah, but let's wait when they start losing because that's going to happen. It happens in every sport. And let's hear what he has to say then, and let's see what those adjustments are then. So we could all sing Kumbaya tonight, but the reality is it's gonna be some time. It's gonna be some time. All right, let's see some of your stuff here. Let's see what we got here. OC Neal promoting Sammy here with the upcoming game. Sammy's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. He's rolling up his sleeves. Might not be perfect, but the man works hard, and that's all I care about. So Sammy's doing his thing. Always keep an eye out for some of those videos. He'll get you ready for the game. And if you have some ideas or want to critique other ways that we can do it or that will improve a video, you guys can always put it in the comments and we'll take a look at it. All right, let's see some more here. First group play starts next week. Lakers got to defend that title. Oh, man. I don't even know what to make. I was listening. I'm kind of a, how do I put this? I grew up on sports talk radio. So first off, I spent 20 years in sports talk radio, whether I was on the promotion side, intern, the business side on sales, or on air. You guys kind of know a little bit of my path. And so I love sports talk radio. I always have. And the TuneIn app, if I'm in my car sometimes, you got the TuneIn app, and that allows you to listen to any market across the country. Okay, so I'll type in random markets. I'll go, okay, let's go to New York and listen to what's happening in Cleveland, what's happening in Philly. I just like listening to local sports talk. So I went to Phoenix. Doris Burke on, and they were doing the pregame show for the Suns. Suns were taking on, who'd they play today? I think Dallas. And Doris Burke was on their pregame show, and they asked about the in-season tournament. And I thought this was interesting what they said, that because the Lakers and the Pacers last year, it felt like they shot all their bullets. Certainly for the Lakers. I mean, you could gauge the Pacers as you want, but Lakers were trying to win that in-season tournament, accomplish that goal, and then cratered once the in-season tournament ended. And what they were talking about is, do you think other teams will approach it different this year because they saw that a team like the Lakers or a team like the Pacers, they tried so hard to win this in-season tournament, which I still don't know what the prize is. And they put up a banner, by the way, at Crypto. There's a banner right now next to James Worthy, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Elgin Baylor. Go down the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain. There's that, and then there's all these championships from the Showtime era, Minneapolis Lakers, Kobe and Shaq days, LeBron and Anthony Davis, Kobe and Powell days, and then there's an in-season tournament banner that's there as well. What the hell am I missing? What the hell am I missing? Listen, this guy, I love the banner. I just can't do it. I can't process it. I can't process it. If we get another in-season tournament banner and another championship, and there's a whole, might as well have a parade. Let's have a parade. Let's have a parade. Do a whole parade for this damn thing. Arthur Johnson. Arthur, thank you very much for the super, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. They ran this before. They inserted Cam into the starting lineup under Darvin, benched D'Lo. The coach saw how poorly Cam was offensively and put D'Lo back in, just like Donnie Bravo, a rerun. Donnie Brasco, Arthur. It's Donnie Brasco, Arthur. Okay, let's keep that up there for a quick second. What would be different this time around? I'll tell you what I think is going to be different. First off, this is what also happened with Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, for most of the season, started Taurean Prince. Darvin Ham, it took him 50-plus games to go back to the starting lineup that he had, a year ago. I think the difference might be this year is let's see how effective it could be, because I will tell you right now what's happening. D'Angelo Russell's not effective. Some of his stats coming into this season, I think you could look at D'Lo and you could bench him for two reasons. Number one, you could send him a message and say, I don't know what the hell you're doing out there. Your body language is not right. And oh, by the way, you're not shooting from the field well. You're not efficient. You're not shooting from the three-point well. You're not efficient. They could do that, and then they could also put him on the bench and just say, we got to defensively, we're a liability. The defense is a liability. There is too many times where either Austin Reaves is getting ran or D'Lo's getting ran on the defensive side, and the Lakers bench is so bad. That's the one thing that I would say, Arthur, is it's not like the Lakers got many players that are sitting on that bench and you have an opportunity to see what are they going to do. I could rely on this guy. I could rely on that. They got no one they could rely on the bench right now. Nobody that they can rely on the bench right now. So they do need a scoring punch off the bench. They do need a facilitator off the bench. And maybe the best way of doing this is going to be, obviously is going to be putting D'Lo on the bench. Speaking of parades, did not see that. I refused to look. When that happened, I turned off my TV. And I just sat there in the corner with my Padres sweater, shedding a tear. Everywhere I look, I can't avoid it. I can't avoid it. All right, I got somebody here saying a big difference. D'Lo is reliably inconsistent. All right, so we got a lot of comments right there. Okay, what was the other thing that I wanted to do here that I wanted to mention? Wrote down my notes here. Okay, I pretty much got into most of the stuff that I wanted to get into. Let me switch gears here for a quick second, and then I'll keep reading some of your guys' comments if you guys got some comments out there. And again, Donnie Brasco. Nobody search Donnie Bravo. Okay? If you guys are going to go watch that movie, don't look for Donnie Bravo. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's another movie that I've never heard of. Okay, one other thing that I'm going to point out here. Lakers got a game. Oh, now I know what I was going to say. Lakers got a game coming up on Sunday. So Lakers got the Toronto Raptors. I will be at this game. We got a chance to see the Toronto Raptors. It was last week in Toronto. They don't have a good team. They play hard, but there's just not enough talent there. They're all incredibly young. Scotty Barnes, their best player, wasn't playing. So I fully expect the Lakers. Toronto Raptors are 2-7 on the season now. I fully expect the Lakers, like everyone should, get back to 6-4. Get back to 6-4. See what it looks like at 6-4. You're 10 games in. I'm going to be there. My record at crypto.com this arena is 1-0. Listen, I'm not coming from San Diego to LA to go to a Lakers game, and you're going to hand me an L. Okay. If I'm going to do the post game show from the arena, I got to be doing, we got to have some excitement here. There better be some confetti coming from the rafters there, and everybody's got to be feeling good about themselves. But obviously, Toronto should be a W. That should be an easy win. And through 10 games, that's something that I'm going to do on something I'm going to do after that game on Sunday. Just kind of get our overall thoughts. You're 10 games through the season. What do we think so far? We'll get there. And I think if you look at the upcoming schedule for the Lakers, I think there are, however you want to call it. I know no game is a gimme in the NBA, but they do have, after the Toronto Raptors, they still got another home game. I'm sure Lakers want to kind of try to hand it back to Memphis for handing it to them. Ja Morant saying a couple days ago, what was he saying? That he doesn't like them, doesn't like the Lakers. There's a little history there, that he runs his mouth. But Anthony Davis wasn't in that game. I don't know if the Marcus Smarts of the world, the Desmond Bains, I don't know if they're going to be available. But after that game, you go back out on the road. You're at San Antonio, at New Orleans. So then you got Utah, Orlando, Denver. You got some games here at home. They got a chance. It's not like the schedule is crazy here to start off. Get that win against Toronto, go 6-4. Then you got one more win or one more home game. You got a chance to go 7-4. And that's all I think the Lakers got to do right now. Just start figuring out who you are, what your identity is. And like I mentioned, win the games that you're supposed to win and take your chances from there. Couple scores around the NBA. I think we're starting to get to the point. I'm not going to go through all the scores, just the games that I thought were interesting. This one's kind of fascinating to me. I thought the Pelicans were going to be a team that would make a little bit of noise this year. And I know Zion is out right now, so, that's one reason why they wouldn't do all that well. But Ingram is still there. Obviously, Jose Alvarado was there. Maybe they got more injuries than I thought they do. They're off to a 3-7 start. 3-7 start. All right, let's keep going here. Celtics, they're 8-2. They won. Warriors, Cavs, I thought this might be an interesting matchup. The Warriors, who had started the season out 7-1 and won at Boston a couple nights ago, get blown out by the Cavs. Cleveland is now 10-0. Damn. By the way, they won by 19, and they got outscored in the second half by 22 points. That means they were up by close to 40 earlier in the game. I didn't know that. I'm just seeing it. How about the Bucks are 2-7? Pelicans 3-7. Bucks 2-7. Philly is what, 1-6, 1-7 now? What are they now? 1-7. I mean, a lot of these teams you kind of just assumed were going to be, we're going to be good. Have not been good so far. Thunder are 6-1 now. They got another W. They're a good team. We all know that. Probably the class of the Western Conference. Denver starting to rack up some wins. They're up to 6-3. And this kind of is an interesting one for me. Clippers won at Sacramento today. Clippers are now 6-4. I'm going to give them a lot of credit. We don't have to be Clipper fans, but we can give credit where credit's due. Paul George isn't there anymore. Kawhi Leonard is injured. Everybody just assumes they're not going to be good. They play tough. Ty Lue's a good coach. After they had lost, 3 in a row, they beat the Spurs, they beat the Sixers, and then they won at the Kings. So give them their flowers. They're playing some good ball. All right, let's see what else we got here as far as some of the comments here, and then we're going to get out of here. Sliwa, do you hear trade rumors that don't hit the main news wire from random connections you have? Anything on D'Lo? Not this year. I think in the past, just being at every single game, you got people kind of saying certain things, but I'm not sure what to decipher, what I think is going to happen, what's not going to happen. But now, because I'm not at every game, not as much. I think that part, no. Not that part, no. I have said this before. I have seen this before. I've said this before, that when I see the Walker Kessler, let me use that as an example. when things get reported like crazy, I feel like that starts to lose steam. Usually when moves go down, they don't typically go down like that where everybody knows it's going to happen. So, I mean, there's some exceptions to the rule. D'Lo in the starting lineup forces Reaves to get the toughest defensive assignment. And both of those guys can't play a lick of defense. Let's see what else we got here. Story time with Skalij. Let me have a good story that's organic that I can tell you. And when I do, we'll get back into doing that. So you're right. I got to have some good stories for everybody here. I don't like to force them. You know, they got to come out naturally or we don't do them. Cleveland led 20-2 against Golden State. May have been more, but but when I stopped watching. Yeah, I didn't watch a game, but I know that this team literally cannot stop winning. Bucks are off to a bad start. Lillard gets traded, I guess. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Favorite mob movie, Skalij. All right, we got the classics, right? Godfather 1, of course, a classic. Goodfellas. Come on. Does it get any better than Goodfellas? Those are probably, if I said top 3, Donnie Brasco's in my top 3. I put Goodfellas there and I put Godfather 1 in there. Those would be my top 3. Those would be my top 3. All right, let's read one more here and then I'm going to call it. I'm at 50 minutes. Usually I want to go like 40. You guys going to let me enjoy the rest of my night? D'Lo as a 6-man makes our bench better. Should have never started with AR. Low-key target for shooting guard, I would consider. Yeah, listen. You have to show, even if D'Angelo Russell's not going to be on this team for the future, right? We know D'Angelo Russell obviously came off the bench. Even if he's not going to be on this team for the future, you got to show that there's value there to other teams. If I'm D'Angelo Russell, man, the way I'm approaching this season in a contract year, I mean, this is your chance to get paid. This is your chance. And I know the guy's made a lot of money, but he's got to do everything he can to show the rest of the league out there that he has value, that he's coachable, that, you know, kind of go through the entire list. I did my show this morning, and I'm just going to tell you guys, I read a lot of the comments, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on YouTube. I read a lot of the comments, typically more because it helps me with my topics. It gives me a vibe on certain things. And the vibe I'm getting with D'Angelo Russell, there's no Laker fan that's standing there and defending D'Angelo Russell. There isn't. So, you know, that was part of my topic. Part of my topic this morning was going through my YouTube feed in the comments and just seeing everybody, every single one. I didn't organize anything. I just said, all right, let me just go with my comments. Every single one, there was some type of negative comment about D'Angelo Russell. So that's on him to figure out. You know, if I could be honest with you, Laker fans, they don't really give a shit. Are you making it happen or are you not? Are you helping the team win or are you not? Are you somebody that they feel like? I'll tell you one thing that drives me crazy, and this is the one thing that I see the most of. People don't think he's giving 100% effort. That's not supposed to be a conversation. When JJ Redick said that and he's calling everybody out, but he named D'Angelo Russell out specifically, that's not a good look for you. You don't want that perception in the league. And Laker fans, it was comment after comment. It's like, look at this guy's body language. And I've been critical. I know I've said that before. I've been critical about D'Angelo Russell. There's certain players that give me the vibe of, yeah, that's a winner. He doesn't give me that vibe. He just doesn't. And I think a lot of times his play in the playoffs or whatever the case is, you know, that it creeps up, it shows. So that's going to be up to him to figure that out. But I don't think there's this just line of Laker fans saying, no, D'Lo's the guy. No, you guys are too critical on D'Lo. I think basically 95% of Laker fans have turned on D'Lo and said, you figure it out. You change the perception. JJ Redick wants to put you on the bench. Sounds good. Have your ass on the bench. I don't think he's got much backing. And the only way he gets backing and he gets everybody back, deliver results. And that's on him. That's what he's got to show. All right, a couple more of these. We're getting the hell out of here. Thank you, Wally. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Ooh, Untouchables. It's a good one right there. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea going into our like top mob movies. That's a really good idea. I might have to do that on Monday or Tuesday. One of these days. All right. I think we're good. My people, I appreciate you guys hanging out. 55 minutes here. Can Rookie do Laker game predictions? Rookie is the laziest dog I've ever seen. His ass is sitting just a room away over there, and he's getting his 16th hour of sleep. That's what Rookie is doing right now. Okay? I take him for a walk. I got to fight. This is a golden retriever. I got to fight him to go for a walk. He's like, nah, I'm good, man. I appreciate it. Let me know how it goes. What do you mean, let me know how it goes? I'm going on the walk to take you on a walk. Don't tell me, go, let me know how it goes. That's not how this works. All right, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'll be doing nothing tomorrow. I don't think any content tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe maybe I'll get something up. We'll see what happens. But on Sunday, I'll be at the Laker game, and my plan is to do the post-game show right after the game, and probably similar to how I did it last time, where I did it right from the arena. So that's going to be my plan. So thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Really enjoy doing this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I love the interaction. I love doing the Lakers stuff I'm doing right now. I love doing the stuff that I'm doing in the morning. It's been exciting. It's been tough trying to figure it all out. Obviously, doing stuff all on my own right now. 100% independent, but I'm enjoying doing it, and I see a lot of opportunities. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the show. I greatly appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll get back with you guys on Sunday. Thank you, everybody.